Faithful, rise up. It's time to rally 49ers Nation because we're bringing you the pulse of the red and gold like never before. From jaw-dropping off-season trades to the injuries that have us holding our breath and that one breakout star who could carry us back to glory, this news is going to hit you right in the heart. The faithful have seen it all, from Candlestick's roar to Levi's Stadium's shine. But what's coming next might just redefine our legacy. So grab your jersey, bang that subscribe button, and let's dive into the fire of 49ers football. If you've been holding on to the dream of seeing Amari Cooper in red and gold, it's time to let it go. The reality is tough, but it's better to face it now. The 49ers are not looking for big-name, expensive players like Cooper. The team has other priorities, and while he's a great receiver, the franchise is focused on bringing in affordable options and developing talent for the long haul. Cooper's name might be floating around, but the 49ers are thinking smaller, looking for camp bodies rather than making splashy moves. But here's the twist. Odell Beckham Jr. could actually be a possibility. That's right. The receiver, who has had success in the NFL and is looking to get back to his prime, could end up with the 49ers. Why? Because the situation in San Francisco doesn't allow for big-money signings. They need bodies for training camp, and Beckham, with all his experience, could be a great fit to fill gaps without breaking the bank. What's even more interesting is that this approach isn't exclusive to the wide receiver position. The 49ers' strategy has extended to cornerback as well, bringing in Eli Apple, another low-cost signing. Some fans raised a big fuss about this on social media, but the truth is that these signings are temporary fixes. The 49ers aren't bringing in these players for the season, but to ensure they can actually hold practice. With so many injuries across the team, they simply need enough bodies to run drills. Apple, Beckham, and others are part of that strategy to keep the wheels turning during the camp. The harsh reality is that the 49ers don't have the luxury of adding stars like Cooper. They need those reps for the players who are already part of the team. Perizal, Jowan Jennings, and Brandon Ayuk, once they're back, not to mention Demarcus Robinson after his suspension. Let's not forget the limited number of passing reps available when you factor in Christian McCaffrey and George Kittle. Signing Beckham right now makes a lot of sense for the 49ers. He's familiar with a similar offense, having played under Mike McDaniel with the Miami Dolphins. So don't be surprised if sometime soon the 49ers bring him in for a workout and sign him. With injuries wreaking havoc on the roster, the 49ers are simply trying to survive through the preseason. The signing of Beckham would be less about adding a big name and more about filling a temporary need. The goal is to make sure the team has enough players to stay competitive in camp and to keep the offense and defense sharp, even if they're not yet at full strength. The bottom line, Amari Cooper's not coming. But Beckham, he could be. Think the injury nightmare is over? Think again. The 49ers training camp continues to be plagued by injuries, and it's getting harder to stay optimistic as key players are dropping like flies. Day 15 of camp saw the team in joint practice with the Raiders, but instead of building momentum, the injury list only grew longer. The most concerning news was rookie defensive tackle C.J. West leaving practice early with a hyperextended knee. Although the team says it's not serious, this injury adds another layer of stress to an already depleted defensive line. West's situation mirrors that of rookie first-round pick Mike Williams, who also hyperextended his knee last week and hasn't returned to the field yet. With the defensive line already thin, this is a nightmare scenario for the 49ers. But it's not all doom and gloom. There were some bright spots. Quarterback Brock Purdy continues to impress, carving up the Raiders' defense with ease. Sure, the Raiders' defense isn't exactly a powerhouse, but Purdy's performance showed that he's ready to lead this team. His chemistry with the receiving corps is still developing, but there's no denying that he's sharp and confident. After all, he's the leader this team needs, and his playmaking ability was on full display. Christian McCaffrey was another standout. With so many injuries among the wide receivers, Purdy was targeting McCaffrey often in the passing game. This could be a sign of things to come for the 49ers, especially if McCaffrey can stay healthy and continue to be the dual-threat weapon he's capable of being. Expect a big year from him, both as a runner and a receiver. The more touches he gets, the more dangerous the 49ers offense will be. Kyle Juszczyk, the fullback who often flies under the radar, made a big impression as well. He's been a great decoy in the past, but this time, he's showing that he can contribute as a legitimate receiving threat. His 20-yard catch up the sideline during practice was a reminder of his underrated skills. With so many wide receivers hurt, Juszczyk could be called upon more than ever this season to make plays in the passing game. But of course, the 49ers' injury woes didn't end there. Jacob Cowing, one of the few healthy wide receivers, is stepping up. After missing the first 3 weeks of camp with a hamstring injury, Cowing made an incredible diving catch on a pass from Purdy. His performance is giving fans hope that despite the team's injuries, there are still players who can step up and make a difference. Cowing might even be forced to start in Week 1, which is a lot to ask from a rookie. but he's showing promise. The offensive line remains a major concern. Andre Dillard, who was brought in to back up Trent Williams, missed OTAs and minicamp and has now injured his ankle. This leaves the 49ers in a tough spot, with no reliable backup at the tackle position. Spencer Burford, who started at left tackle, has been struggling, getting beaten by everyone he faced. If Burford is forced into regular season action, it could be a recipe for disaster, especially with Purdy's protection on the line. Nick Bosa, who's been missing practices due to neck soreness, continues to be a major question mark. After only one practice in the last 2 weeks, his absence is starting to feel like more than just a minor issue. With the 49ers defense already banged up, the last thing they need is Bosa's health to be compromised. Overall, the 49ers' depth is being tested like never before. With injuries piling up across the board, the team is scrambling to keep their roster intact and stay competitive. Can they weather the storm? Only time will tell, but with a coach like Kyle Shanahan at the helm, there's always hope. The question is, can the 49ers stay healthy enough to compete when it matters most? If you thought the injury nightmare was over, think again. Thursday's joint practice against the Raiders only added to the growing list of 49ers players sidelined with injuries. As the preseason wears on, the 49ers are facing a depth crisis that's hard to ignore. The injury report seems endless, and it's starting to feel like a bad dream. Nick Bosa, the cornerstone of the 49ers defense, missed another practice due to neck soreness. While it's not a major issue right now, the fact that Bosa has only participated in one practice over the last 2 weeks is concerning. This is a player who was injured for half of last season, and his health is something the 49ers can't afford to ignore. If Bosa's neck injury lingers, it could put the defense in a tough spot, especially with the team already dealing with a lack of depth. The offensive line isn't any better off. Ben Bartch, who was brought in to provide depth at guard, is also sidelined with an elbow injury. While the team insists that it's nothing serious, Bartch's history of injuries is a major red flag. With the 49ers already struggling to find reliable backup linemen, Bartch's absence could leave the team in a tough position. Connor Colby, his replacement, is unproven and will need to step up fast. The wide receiver situation is just as dire. With Jowan Jennings, Jordan Watkins, and several other receivers sidelined, the 49ers are down to the bare minimum. Jacob Cowing, who had been nursing a hamstring injury, has stepped up, but the lack of depth at the position is worrying. If Cowing and the rest of the healthy receivers can't stay consistent, the 49ers offense could be in trouble. It's a lot of pressure for a rookie to carry, but he's showing signs of being up for the challenge. Defensive back Trey Brown and safety Jason Pinnock are also dealing with heel injuries, adding to the growing list of defensive players unavailable. The 49ers secondary is being stretched thin, and with the preseason wrapping up soon, the team is starting to feel the heat. Can they hold it together for week 1? But the most troubling thing for the 49ers is the overall lack of depth. The team is dealing with injuries across the board, and while there are bright spots, like Chase Lucas making plays at nickelback, the overall situation is less than ideal. With several key players out, the 49ers are in survival mode, hoping to make it through the preseason as healthy as possible. The bottom line? If the 49ers don't get healthier soon, their chances of making a deep playoff run could be in jeopardy. The team needs its stars to stay on the field, and it needs younger players to step up and perform under pressure. The next few weeks will be critical to determining whether or not San Francisco can overcome this crisis. When it comes to hope, there's one name that stands above the rest for the 49ers: Christian McCaffrey. After an injury-plagued season in 2024, McCaffrey is finally healthy again, and the signs are promising. He's back to being the explosive playmaker we know and love, and if he stays healthy, he could be the key to the 49ers' success this season. In 2023, McCaffrey was arguably the best running back in the NFL, leading the league with 1,459 rushing yards, 14 touchdowns, and adding 67 receptions for 564 yards and 7 more touchdowns. His dual-threat ability made him a nightmare for defenses, and the 49ers are hoping to get that version of McCaffrey back in 2025. So far, everything has been positive. McCaffrey looks explosive in camp, and reports have him clocking in at 25 mph on the GPS trackers. He's back to being the player who can change the course of a game in the blink of an eye. And with the 49ers struggling with injuries at wide receiver, McCaffrey's role in the passing game is more important than ever. He could be the primary weapon in both the run and pass game, making him one of the most valuable players on the roster. The question, though, is whether McCaffrey can stay healthy. After dealing with Achilles and PCL injuries last season, the 49ers need to be cautious with him, making sure he's ready for the long haul. If he can stay on the field and perform at his 2023 level, the 49ers will have one of the most dangerous offensive weapons in the league. With McCaffrey fully healthy, the 49ers offense looks more dynamic than ever. But can they keep him at 100% throughout the season? If so, the sky's the limit for San Francisco in 2025. So there you have it, 49ers Nation. The team is facing serious challenges, from injuries to depth issues, but there's also a lot to be hopeful about. With Brock Purdy stepping up, McCaffrey back to his best, and some younger players showing promise, the 49ers still have a shot at a big season. But can they stay healthy enough to make it all the way? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure, the journey is just beginning. What do you think, Niner Nation? Can the 49ers overcome these obstacles and compete for a championship? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more 49ers updates. See you next time.